In this video, I will go over Reservations All. Reservations All is going to be all the reservations that you have at the property currently. So these are going to be reservations from beginning date to the end date here. All right. And this at the top will always be the current business date going forward. All right. So let's look at the first one. You can refresh, you can requalify, you can copy. So let's look at requalify. Let's say this guest decides, hey, I would like to come another date. You can requalify the guest on the fly right there. So for example, if we want to move them from Saturday to Sunday, you could do so here, and what that will do is that will add another night, confirming that this is now a 2-night stay. All right. If I'd like to remove the first night, that changes the nights back to 1. All right. So this is where you can requalify the guest. If you'd like to give them a comp upgrade or keep existing pricing, for example. So say the prices have gone up, but you decide, okay, I would like to give this guest the same deal that they've gotten. You can keep existing pricing. What that will do is that will flow the pricing throughout, and also comp upgrade. So you can give a complimentary upgrade if you choose to do so and allow. So let's move them from the 3rd to the 4th coming in for 1 night. So these are going to be the current reservation status here, and this is going to be the new status here. All right. You can change the room type here. You can change the number of adults, and this is going to be all informational. Your company, the promotion code that was used, what rate code. You can change the rate code here. This is going to be if they're part of a group block, the current total. If you have multiple currencies at the property, you can choose a currency. You can add comments. You can add a housekeeping status. You can change this to a high priority reservation or a order confirmation reservation. So you can do all of these little settings here at the time of requalification. So we changed them from the 3rd to the 4th arrival. As you can see here, now the reservation has changed from the 11-4 or from 11-3 to 11-4. All right, let's try to check in this guest. Room has not been assigned. System will try to auto-assign based on preference. Do you still want to check in? Yes. Would you like to create a key card? So if you have a key card that is integrated with your system, this will allow you to do so here. All right. So it gave me an error. Why did it give me an error? You can only check in a guest on the arrival date or with late check-in, grace period. So this will not allow you to check in a guest that is not arriving today. You must requalify the guest for arrival date of today for the guest to be able to check in. Soft check-in. Soft check-in is used at property for maybe a guest that has pool access or maybe spot access. However, the room may not be ready. So that's what soft check-in is used for. Let the property know the guests are here. Their baggage may be at bellhop. The baggage may be with them. However, it will let the property know that the guests have arrived at property and they are checked in. Once the housekeeping rooms are cleaned, you can assign a room and go ahead and check them in. Guarantee. What this will do is this reservation is currently in confirmed status. So if you'd like to guarantee this room, different properties utilize guarantee for in multiple different ways. So we have one property that confirms a reservation. However, they do not take the credit card. Once they take the credit card, they guarantee the reservation. Now in Senium, you have different settings that allow you to be very dynamic with your reservation process. So if you would require a reservation at the time of creation, you could do that. If you would like a credit card to be required at the time of guaranteeing a reservation, you could do so. In our test database, we have no limitations. We have no such thing set up, just for demonstration purposes. So I'll show you what a guaranteed reservation looks like. So let's just say, for example, we've taken the guest credit card. and would like to guarantee this reservation. You want to set this reservation status to guaranteed? Yes, I do. All right, now the reservation is set to guaranteed. No-show. If you'd like to manually set a no-show and you know a guest is not going to arrive, say they call and say, hey, we're not coming in today, and you decide not to cancel, you can set it to no-show and it'll automatically go into no-show. Or what you can do is you can leave that guest in the reservation status, and Night Audit can pull that reservation out from a guaranteed or a confirmed reservation into a no-show reservation. So you can let Night Audit do that, or you can do that yourself. Manage contacts. So this is basically used for multiple guests in a room, which will allow you to A, make multiple keys, and B, you can assign different spa activities, all different items to individual guests themselves as well. So if you would like to add a guest, and maybe the guest name is John Doe, you can add John Doe, and if they're already in your master contacts, you can assign a master contact to this reservation. So let's add Carl, and Carl's information gets pulled into this manage contacts. If Carl is now the primary, you can choose to do so here. If you'd like to auto update master contact, you can do so. So if you'd like to change any of this information, this will update the master contact for that guest. Their address. All here is miscellaneous, so they may have a IATA number you can source here, nationality, passport number, gender, VIP status. You could set all of this here, and an anniversary date. So maybe they tell you their anniversary date. You like to collect that type of information. You could do so here. All right. Shares. Shares are unique in Cinium. So this will create multiple reservations that share the same accommodations. The reason shares are used are, for example, say two adults are coming in and they're sharing one room. However, one would like to bill spa to the room, the other would like to bill maybe a hot air balloon package to the room. So what this will allow you to do is create two separate reservations that share the same accommodation. However, you have multiple reservations that share the same accommodation. Undo shares. So say you have shares. You can undo the shares. So you have two reservations that are created. They share the same room, and they decide, oh, well, we're not really going to utilize spa separately, or we're not going to add different items to my account or his account, or maybe one may not have a credit card. This error is because this is not part of share. That's why you're getting this error. If you'd like to add guest interest and info, you can do so here. These are the list of options. So you have different types of personal interests. You can add the personal interest of that guest. You can add description. You can add preferences. So maybe when assigning a room, they'd like to be, more than 100 meters away from the elevator. You could set this to a high, medium, low priority. 1, 2, 3, 4, however you'd like to set this up. You can assign a room. So let's just say, let's go ahead and assign a room. If you'd like to assign the room, you could do so here. Choose rooms that are available. We can assign a deluxe. Click OK. Now that room number is assigned here to this guest. All right. If you like to auto assign, it'll auto assign a room. Since we've already assigned the room, auto assign does not assign the room. If you'd like to create key cards, if you have a key card module incorporated with your system, then you can create a new card or you can create a duplicate. choose the encoder here, the number of keys, click OK, and that'll prompt you on the key card to insert the key. This is where you do all the folio payments. So if you'd like to pre-authorize a guest, you can do so here. If you'd like to void a refund, settle, take a payment, you can do so here. Folios, this is where you go and manage the actual guest folio here. So this is what a guest folio looks like. So you can close the folio, add another folio to this folio, remove the folio. Here is selected folio to pay master. We don't have any folio selected, so this is grayed out. You can reroute your lines. So you can reroute your lines based on your route rule setup. You can view self folios. You can view and edit your routing rules. You can take payments and invoices here. Take a manual payment. Manual payment, void, and refund. You can manage discount. So if you'd like to give a discount at the time of managing the folio, you can do so here. You can print a folio here. All right. So by default, we have 3 folios set up. Each property is to its own on how many folios you'd like to set up. This is the main folio. This is folio number 2, and this is going to be unspecified folio. Usually, the most common way of utilizing a folio, you may have a main folio of the guest. The second folio may be a prepaid reservation, such as a third-party site that have already prepaid for the reservation, and you do not, you want to suppress the rate. So that is why a folio number 2 may be useful, and maybe a third folio could be maybe conference items and events that you'd like to build to a company. You're able to do so here with 3 separate folios. All right, this folio, we've selected this folio here, and this will tell you everything that's in the folio currently. All right, so this is the date, this is the currency amount, this is the base amount, if there's a discount associated here, tax, and this will tell you the total balance of the folio. All right, and the total currency, they've paid 0, invoice 0. All right, so if you'd like to make a payment, what we can do is we can make a payment. Go to manual payment. This will give you all these options here. All right, we're going to select a deposit. Since this guest is not due to arrival for next couple days, if the guest decides to cancel and you like to take the cancellation here, maybe you'd like to charge for no-show, maybe there are extra charges, you can do so here. All right, you could choose which folio to post the payment to. You can choose the company folio or the guest folio here. All right, payment method. Currently, we don't have any other type of payment method set up other than cash in this environment. However, if you have multiple payment methods, you could do so. So I'm going to take a cash payment of the total amount. We're not owed any change. Click OK. And that'll automatically print a receipt. And once the receipt populates, your receipt may look different. This is the payment receipt here, and the payment reference is cash. Now you can see that they've paid $1,012 and the balance is 0. And that is how you take a payment. You can actually manage discounts here as well. So if you'd like to apply a discount to the room, you could do so here on the fly. All right. Let's say add discount to all. We could choose discount group, discount code. Let's go ahead and give them 10%. As you can see, there's another 10% discount applied to the reservation. So now the discount is $225 versus before where it was $112. All right. And as you can see, the discount is calculated from the total amount of the room, not the total balance. All right. So you have to incorporate that when you're actually giving multiple discounts. So what you can do, for example, say they already have a discount of a AAA discount. All right, let's go ahead and delete this. Let's say somebody has a AAA discount and maybe there's something wrong with the room and you'd like to give them a discount just, for being a customer that would like to stay. You can create a discount code that could be unique. I'm just going to go ahead and choose anything. It's going to say own, and maybe I want to give them $20 off of the room. And as you can see, it takes $20 off of the room. It also calculates a little percentage on what this actually discount is off of the room here. All right, so that is how you manage discounts. You can add comments to reservations, and this is for internal comments. These comments do not go out to housekeeping. These comments do not go out to trigger any tasks, any notes. This is just for this reservation here. You can add a message to a reservation, and you can send an SMS to this guest stating, hey, your room is ready. You can add items. So if you'd like to sell an item to this guest, maybe this guest requested 2 waters at check-in. We can go in, select a water. Boss water is all we have available. They would like 2. The cost of each water is $20. We can go ahead and put it at the transaction date. And what we can do is we can schedule this transaction to happen at the night of arrival. These are different options you have. And if you'd like to override the price, you can do so here. You can give a reason code and you can put a comment. So let's say returning So now you can see with the accommodation, there's also water that is attached. There's 2 waters. The total is $22.08. However, the base price. You are able to see that we do have tax incorporated with Voss water. So you see 2208 incorporates this $2 tax. All right. So as you flow through this view here, you're able to see all the different views of what's going on in this stay details reservation. Okay. So you're able to see the comments that we made earlier. You're able to see the room type for the accommodation. You can also see the user that gave this override. If this reservation was part of a package, you can see the package details here. So for example, I know that this reservation here has you can see all the different folios that this account also has. So they have a guest folio and a company folio. The guest folio is live since we did take a payment on it, and the company folio is just created, not in use currently. All right, and the folio lines also show up, so you can see that 922 is a charge for the deluxe, and 2208 is a charge for the Voss water. All payments that you've taken, you can see all the payments here. You can see the folio direct bill. There are none, and you can see the folio payments here as well. So here on the right side here is a summary. So the summary is not vacant. Room 1010 is not vacant. There's an open balance of $2.58 on this reservation. This will show you previous stay of this guest. If they've stayed before, this will show you any notes that this may have that we may have on this reservation. And the notes you can add simply here. So if you'd like to add a note, we can just create a note. There are different note types. All the note types you can set up in a previous video I've created. So please reference that if you'd like to see different types of notes you're able to create. Test note. You can select a valid from and to date, how high of a priority this is. If you choose high priority, this will change to an exclamation point stating this is a high priority note. Okay, you can share this note with others, or you can keep it to your personal profile. So every time you log in, you can see this note. However, others may not be able to. Allow others to edit. So you may choose that, hey, this note is now locked, so they can see it, but they cannot change it. Exclude this from the report. So this will exclude from any type of reservation reports that you may create to give to the guest, maybe a confirmation or maybe a receipt. The note will not print out. And if you'd like to send this note to somebody, say I'd like to send it to my manager, I can go ahead and send it to my manager here, and now that note would be triggered in their dashboard. And as you can see, once I added a note, the note shows up here. All right. Attached reports. So these are all the reports that are attached. I believe this report is the payment receipt, as you can see. So anytime there's a report generated, any type of transactions, that will automatically be attached to the attached report. Channel details. This is important if you have a channel connected to your system. So if you have maybe Synexus or SiteMinder that's connected, they may have a booking source code that you may want to reference. So that booking source code would be here. So maybe Expedia may call stating, hey, I have a guest. They're arriving this date. This is the booking number. That is this number here. I believe I missed task scheduling. So let's look at scheduling. So you're able to schedule tasks. So you're able to schedule tasks based on triggers, all right? So let's say the task may be deliver water at check-in. As this guest bought 2 waters, target start date is 4, end date is 5. And that is just pulled from the reservation itself. Maybe we'd like a start time. You could choose a start time if you'd like. If you don't have one, you can leave it blank. Which property does this task belong to? So this property is defaulted to CEN004. If you'd like to use a template, so maybe you have a deliver water template. We don't have one, so I'm going to leave it blank, all right? You can use default routing. So if you have a default owner, you have a default assignee that is used during the task setup, then you can use this here. So for example, if I have a task that's created and my setup calls for a default owner and a default assignee, then you can just use default routing and that will go there. However, at any time of creating a task, what you can do is you can default an owner, and if you don't default owner, this user that you're logged into will automatically become the owner. So let's say Kristen told me to create this task, and I'd like to send it to Nav user. Escalation profiles are something you create, and currently we don't have any created. However, if you'd like an escalation profile for this task, you can create that into task management, and that will escalate this. And let's say that Nav does not pick this task up, then maybe Nav's manager may be the second in line to pick up this task, and maybe Nav's manager does not pick this task up, then as you can see, that'll flow higher and higher. That's what escalation profiles are used for. Dispatch strategy. So maybe you'd like different dispatch strategies. So proceeding task completed. So this task may trigger once something else is completed. So if I choose proceeding task completed, then you have these things that pop up. So precedent rule. So if you have any rules set up, they will show here, and you can set up a rule. If you have after pre-interval, so let's say you set up a rule and then you want an interval between that, you can set that up here, and the interval unit can be between minutes, hours, days, weeks. If you'd like a date calculation, so let's say we want to trigger this day at the start date, date calculation before target date. Interval maybe 2 days before, 3 days before. That's where you can do this here. And if you'd like this task to be recurring, so if you'd like this, if they're staying 3 days and you want to deliver water to the room each day, then you could set up a recurring task. You could set up a source trigger. So for example, these are the source triggers that are hard-coded into Selenium. All right. So once the status of a reservation is changed, so we can choose this, and maybe the status is into checked in. So after the guest is checked in, you may want to get somebody to deliver the water. So that's where you select source trigger, and you can select manual. All right. And this will be dispatch manual. So let's go ahead and use source trigger here. So once the guest is checked in, this will trigger. And now that task is created.